Yo, what's good? Welcome back to another episode of our podcast. It's the Miami Boyz. We just two niggas talk about random shit. I'm your boy Twine, and I'm here with...
Hey, it's Twine and Rice.
Alright, man, what are we talking about today?
Alright, man, so today we're going to talk about whether or not we believe that gamers are entitled. But we're going to go with the Destiny community as an example, since the Destiny community is the community we spend most of our time in.
Exactly. Alright, cool. I got some things to say about that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They always feel like... Nah, okay. Just for reference, we're game developers. Well, Justice is still in school.
I mean, look, I've made enough games already.
Yeah.
I might as well be a developer at this point.
I've graduated with my bachelor's at the East University of Central Florida. Fuck, I can't talk. University of Central Florida. I got my bachelor's in digital media game design. Now, I'm not going to, speak all high and mighty. I'm going to step off my high horse. But, as far as, gaming goes, I really do feel like gamers feel like they need to always have control over everything that the developers do. And if they don't get what they want, they bitch about it. And
exactly.
Yeah, and it becomes really toxic. And then we get things like, going for actual individual developers and calling them their game trash and stuff like that. All because, oh, you didn't add this thing down one, or you're not doing this
and
or that.
And the thing is that what's difficult for the developers is the fact that, okay, as a developer, basically, you're making the game the way that you see it. You're making it in your own vision.
Mm-hmm.
And the people who like it are gonna go out and buy it. And the thing is yes, developers take feedback from their community, right. But it's kind of at a certain point, it's where do you win as a developer?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's it is your game. It's not the community's game,
right?
And it's okay, yeah, let's say somebody. Let's say I'm a developer at a company, and I go and I look at our subreddit on Reddit. And I click on the first thing and I see somebody that's hey, I think this feature should be added to the game and I think it'll work well. And then I scroll down a little bit and I see another person say, hey, I think this other feature should be added. And I'm I don't know. I don't think that really fits our game.
Right.
One person got what they wanted, the other person didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the person who didn't feels well, you added this person's thing. Why can't you add my thing?
It really all depends on what game you're playing. I guess let's focus on the game. You already know which game we're going to talk about. Let's talk about Destiny. Destiny, though the community is still alive and strong, there's still a lot of toxicity. The main thing with that is, okay, yes, I'm going to be the one to say it. There are some things that Bungie is doing that I don't necessarily agree with. Currently, they're, what is that called? The Festival of the Lost?
Yeah.
Thing that they got going on, the Halloween event. It's basically the exact same as all the other events. That's like it. And it's barely any changes with that. And with that, I have some sort of gripe with. But
yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't really even know what they changed from this year's Festival of the Lost to last year's Festival of the Lost.
It's the same two guns that you got from basically the two
last year.
Yeah. And even before that, it's the same guns.
Braytech Werewolf and Horror Story, I think they're called.
Yeah. It's
just the guns have different roles on it this year.
Right.
Because they updated the loot pool anyways to have more weapon perks on it. So
yeah. And the reason I brought up Bungie is because, Bungie, at least with Destiny, has a history with the community that is there's a lot of people leaving, calling the game trash, and,
You see, I think the biggest thing with Destiny is, people want stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
And is honestly, this is probably with most games. People want stuff to do. And as a developer, developers only have so much resources and money to put stuff out. Either, here's another thing. People hate microtransactions.
But yeah.
But when you think about it, you want them to make more stuff. The only way they're going to make more stuff is if they have the money to do it. If they have the money to do it, then they have access to the resources to do it.
Right.
If they don't have that, if they have money coming in one time a year, they have to make that money last. And that's where people are like, well, we waited a year to get 5 months worth of content. Now we're just waiting around 7 months to barely do anything for
basically,
the next DLC.
What happened with Destiny 1, and the reason why I think it was it House of Wolves when they first introduced Eververse? That their in-game store, because before that they didn't have an in-game store.
You would know more about that.
They realized that we need more money. And
the thing is, at the time they were partnered with Activision, and Activision was only giving them so much money. And the thing is that I think the mistake it seems like that happened was Activision was trying to give Destiny the Call of Duty treatment. One big DLC a year. Well, I have to,
big DLCs.
I have to do a little bit of an explanation. So basically, one Call of Duty a year would equate to one big DLC a year in Destiny. And Call of Duty and Destiny are two drastically different games. What works in Call of Duty won't work in Destiny. And what works in Destiny won't work in Call of Duty. So, like, Destiny is branded as, like, an ever-evolving world.
Right.
Where you need stuff to do every few months. And that's when Destiny 2 came out. I know I'm skipping over, like, 3 years worth of content in Destiny 1, but fast forward to Destiny 2, and they're releasing stuff, give or take about 3 to 4 months. So the problem now with it is that, yes, we have content to play quarterly, and instead of there being 6 to 7 months of downtime, there's more like a month and a half. Like there's like a month every 3 to 4 months where we basically have barely anything to do.
Right. Now I'm gonna say this, okay, as a gamer, I can understand why you wouldn't want to wait a whole fucking year in order to do stuff. But as a developer, and learning the whole process of pre-production, production there's
vertical slice and alphas and betas and stuff like that.
A lot of testing, like literally you test every fucking day, right? And that's another thing that like I kind of don't like, that people like gamers specifically, whatever. I hate trying to say that word, but gamers, they don't really consider what it takes to make that stuff. So like you say you want all this new stuff, but you're not willing to wait for it. That's the thing. That's it's like hey,
both of us before we started even getting into game design, we really didn't even understand what really went into it. Like we understood, but we didn't really know it.
Yeah.
We didn't know the inner workings of it till we got to UCF and started actually making games and stuff.
We was like, oh shit, damn, it takes the monitors like damn near a month to like finalize everything. So I was like, okay, well.
For example, with the Taken King Ring, right? I'm curious as to how long it took for the person to go and model Golgoroth.
Or War Priest.
Or
even Oryx himself.
Or Oryx.
Yeah.
Like, I bet the person, the 3D modeler, or like the sculptor or whoever it was, that person probably put hundreds of hours into making that one character
Right.
for the raid.
Yeah.
That's hundreds of hours that us as gamers, we're not going to have to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, that person puts so much work into it because those models look good.
Yeah.
Those models are great. And then the raid team had to come up with the encounters and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Taken King raid is probably a bad idea of a raid that was like widely liked.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, personally, I like the raid.
Well, yeah, you started on that.
I started there, but let's go to my favorite raid, which is Wrath of the Machine.
Mm-hmm.
Those encounters, like that raid generally was the saving raid for the Destiny franchise at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was the last raid in Destiny. I mean, let's not talk about Age of Triumph just because there wasn't any new raids. But that was the last raid people had to play to hold themselves over to Destiny 2.
Right.
That was arguably the best mechanic raid in Destiny 1.
And it had good loot as well.
And had good loot, yeah.
And the armor sets and the weapons were good.
And that was also the first time where they So which challenge mode came out first? The Taken King raid 1 or the Wrath of the Machine raid 1?
Challenge mode.
Did challenge mode debut with Wrath of the Machine, but then they went back and made challenges?
They went back and made challenges for everyone else. Because remember, they brought Age of Triumph
and
back.
That was when they
added everything.
Added challenges for the other 3, okay.
Yeah. So
and the thing is, that was also the first raid that actually brought challenge modes.
Mm-hmm.
And those were fun. Like Aksis challenge, best challenge that they have.
Mm-hmm. Forget what you gotta do for it, but yeah.
So basically, you had to jump on his back.
Was it like only certain, like only one person at a time?
So let's say 3 people. I know we're getting kind of off topic, but we'll be back.
Yeah.
So 3 people get a buff. And those are the only 3 people that could stun his back. Let's say he teleports left, the plate stun will be on like right side. Mm. The other person who's on right side that has that buff has to go dunk it on the plate. Everybody gets their super. Then the person on the left side has to dunk it.
Yeah, I remember. Like you had to keep doing that the whole.
And you have to do that. You have to do that for every teleport.
All right. This is gonna be super out of context for people that don't play Destiny.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't play Destiny, that's gonna be out of context. But, go YouTube it. Yeah. But yeah, that and the thing is, the community loved that challenge mode specifically. People loved it. Mm-hmm. But then they were like, well, now what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even with that, like I was still farming that a lot because
because Nano Phoenix was a 1% drop rate.
Yeah,
that I still haven't gotten.
Ridiculous. But let's another reason why I brought up Bungie is because people love to go back to this one thing. I forget I think it was like a journalist or something. He was in a podcast and he interviewed someone at Bungie, and then they was asking about why there's content drought, what are your design decisions and stuff like that. And I think the guy, it may have been Luke Smith, the game director at Bungie, he was like, oh, we're not trying to put too much stress on our developers. Making content is hard. And what the community loves to do with that last sentence, making content is hard, they love to meme that. Yeah. And I'm just
making content is not easy.
And
the thing is that another thing that that Bungie did that the community hated, that I really didn't fully understand until we got deep into our degree, was Bungie was reusing assets and reusing different playable spaces for new content. And it's like, all right, I get it. These 5 guns all look alike.
They just have skins,
but
they have little differences.
Yeah, like the model looks more or less exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
But each gun acts differently. Or, okay, this is a playable space from a strike on a planet that they're reusing for this event right now.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. People don't want to play with the same weapons. People don't want to play in the same areas. But making content takes time.
Mm-hmm.
Either, like you can't have it both ways. As a gamer, you can't want new stuff and not have to wait for it.
Right.
Either you don't wait for it, but you're playing in the same space as a new activity, or you play in a new space with the new activity, with new guns, but you wait 5 months.
Right.
And the thing is like, Bungie's like, y'all want content? Here, y'all gonna get content.
Mm-hmm.
But the community was like, well, we wanted new content, just not like this. And it's like, well, y'all gonna have to wait. Like, y'all gonna have to give them some time and stuff. That's why Call of Duty only releases 1 time a year.
Yeah.
Because Call of Duty, like, the thing is that I commend what Activision did. So it's Treyarch, Infinity Ward, and what's the third one?
Sledgehammer, but they don't make it no more.
And, well, yeah, it used to be Sledgehammer. So there are 3 different developers, 3 different teams of people making Call of Duties. Each team had 2 years to make a Call of Duty. And, Call of Duty these days does not change all that much.
They don't.
So basically, they have a larger buffer of time to make a similar game year in and year out.
Mm.
So you notice that you never really hear in the Call of Duty community, oh hey, we don't have stuff to do, because they had 2 years to make basically, I don't want to say half a game, but they had 2 years to make
sustainable content,
substantial content.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, on the Destiny side of things, for example, so Beyond Light comes out in, Beyond Light comes out in exactly 30 days from now,
mm-hmm.
November 10th. I can guarantee that the stuff that they're working on from Beyond Light, they started on it probably
during Forsaken, honestly.
Probably during Forsaken. When did Forsaken come out?
I think that was 2018?
I think Forsaken was 2018.
Yeah.
And then Shadowkeep was 2019.
2019. So yeah, Forsaken was 2018.
So they had, and also it got delayed a little bit. Mm-hmm. It was supposed to come out when September 20th or something like that.
And it ended up coming out in October.
November.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I wish it would have been October. But yeah, so the thing is they had, give or take, the same amount of time to make stuff from the ground up. Yes, they're bringing back the Cosmodrome. But for the Cosmodrome, they didn't really need to do that much changes to it.
Mm-hmm.
Just update some of the textures, add in the lost sectors and stuff like that. And the thing is, what's crazy? People are still complaining, saying, "Hey, the Cosmodrome isn't enough."
Cosmodrome is huge.
No, it's huge, yeah. But the thing is, they're like, "We want new stuff. We don't want you to bring stuff back."
Well, you got Europa. That's a whole new place.
And the thing is, when you think about it, okay, so with Forsaken, that was the one with Dreaming City, right?
Mm-hmm.
With Forsaken, we also got the Tangled Shore, which they never did any announcing of it. I don't think until like I think like the week before it came out.
Right.
We're getting the Cosmodrome, yes, which is an extension of EDZ. But we don't know if we're going to be getting another planet outside of Europa.
Yeah, because they kind of hide that stuff with Dreaming City.
We might, but we might not.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I'm not going to say anything negative until I'm playing the DLC.
Right.
And it's like, y'all getting content, y'all want enough content to play until the season is over with.
Right.
Which we don't know.
Season 12 might be short.
This season got all types of messed up.
Yeah.
It's like, because season technically would have started in September and it would have ended
a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it would have started like 2 weeks ago. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
And it would have ended sometime in December, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So who knows what they're going to do with this with season 12? Honestly.
Like. Yeah. Honestly, I think we should change this podcast name to our Destiny. It's a Destiny community entitled. That's what we're talking about Destiny a lot, and I guess it's for consistency's sake. Let's stay with Destiny, because that is a good,
like.
What's what I'm looking for? Fuck.
I think we know what we're talking about. We just can't think of the word.
Yeah, I think it's a good example. I guess for for gamers.
Why communities are entitled.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll keep the title. Why gamers are entitled, but we can just go off of the Destiny community.
Yeah, because the reason why we're talking about Destiny because this is the game that we play the most.
It's the most time we have in any of the games.
And I am the one that I don't know if you do it as well, but I'm in the Reddits. I look at the Facebook chats and I look at the Twitter stuff.
Oh no, yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not for me it's mostly Reddit, YouTube, Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm not really on Twitter. I have the Twitter, and I'm plugged in enough on Twitter with the community, but I'm not really on Twitter like that.
Right.
But I'm the thing is, the Destiny community is spoiled a little bit.
I think for good reason, because if you look back at Bungie, they're expecting a lot. Because of Halo. And me being the Halo fan that I am, I get that. And a lot of people don't know that the Bungie that we have now is technically not the people that made Halo.
Yeah, exactly. The Bungie we have now is maybe not a completely different.
And maybe some people that worked on Halo still there, but it's not.
The Bungie of Destiny is largely different from the Bungie of Halo.
Right.
The Bungie of Halo mostly have went over to 343 for the Halo of 343.
Mm-hmm.
Now, arguably, Halo with 343 isn't as good as Halo with Bungie.
Yeah, people. I guess we can talk about that too with Halo, because 343 people are hating on them as well.
I mean, honestly, I think the last Halo, I played up to Halo 5.
Mm-hmm.
But the last Halo that I played, I think was ODST, or maybe it was 4. Great. But it was one or the other. But I think the last one I actually spent most of my time it was ODST.
Right. Let's and let's talk about I don't want it to seem like we're defending developers because we're developers ourselves. Some things that developers do is sketchy. Some things that they do shouldn't be done, like EA, for example, how they do their microtransactions, stuff like that. And I don't agree with some things that Bungie decided to do. It's like I said with this Festival of the Lost thing. Everything is in Eververse right now that could have been in that event that they got with the Infinite Forest and stuff like that. That kind of makes me upset.
Now, the reason why I say that's okay is because, my problem with this as a whole is the game shouldn't be pay to win.
I mean, it's not.
And it's not.
It's mainly cosmetics, but like.
And the thing is, like, it's not even that it's mainly cosmetics. Even if they had good stuff in there, you can earn those engrams by just playing the game. You don't have to go and pay. You don't have to go and buy them with real money if you don't want to.
Wait, I thought that you couldn't do the engrams thing no more for that. I'm talking about the new armor that came out for this stuff. The limited armor.
Well, okay.
I think you can only buy that with Bright Dust.
But the thing is, that's another thing. You get Bright Dust by playing the game.
Okay.
You still don't have to spend real life money on it. Let's take a break real quick and we'll be back.
Right. And we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
Destiny.
Festival of the Lost. Microtransactions.
I still think it should have, at least like, because you saw the new armor stuff for it, like the hunted that looks like a werewolf, and like the warlock that looks like a vampire.
The mask and stuff, yeah.
No, not the mask, the armor stuff. I'm not talking about the big
actual armor. The actual
cool looking armor.
I haven't seen all of that yet.
You didn't see that yet? But like, okay, that stuff I feel like should also be a part of the loophole for that Infinite Forest remake or whatever. That's the spooky Infinite Forest.
Basically just Mercury with some bullshit.
Yeah, because right now, I don't know if you play like the new Infinite Forest thing. They got the new chest thing, right?
Yeah.
You see that. But the thing that pisses me off with that is like they give you trash and random like legendaries that you can find in the world, right?
Yeah, in the world.
Yeah, and you can also get the guns from there. Why not also have that new armor that you made in there as well? Yeah,
I mean, I don't know why, but he did it that way. But like, I would only be upset personally if you had to spend silver on it.
Yeah.
That's the only time I'd be, because the thing is, I'm like, all right, if I have to spend Bright Dust on it, at least if I go back and play the game for an hour more, I'll get back the Bright Dust I just spent on it.
Okay.
Or if I could only get it through the engrams that drop. All right, I mean, I played the game for 5 hours. I got 20 of those engrams. At least I still didn't have to go pay silver for them.
Mm.
That's my thing about microtransactions. I'm like, at first when Eververse came for Destiny 2 at least, I was like, all right, it seems like the engrams you buy versus the engrams you earn have different loot in it.
Mm.
That was my biggest problem. I'm like, it should be one engram regardless of if you buy it or if you earn it. If you want to guarantee that you get a full Eververse set, go ahead and just buy the engrams with the money. With your money, that's how you want to spend your money in your time in Destiny. If you don't want to spend your money, okay, play the game.
Right. I guess like that was like my main thing was that it's like it makes sense for the armor to be in the new spooky Infinite Forest because of how cool it looks. But like I guess to go back to the whole thing with I have to make it clear that there are some things I don't agree like with design decisions, and I hope this doesn't get like put out anywhere and like Luke Smith or someone ends up seeing it because I am trying to apply there. I'm a UI designer. I am available.
And I am a tech designer.
Yeah.
I will make a raid for y'all.
Think of this as a developer critique. Because, like, I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to be on my high horse and be like, I went to school for this or whatever, so I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I don't know everything about it.
A lot of people out there went to school for it.
Yeah. And there's still some things that I don't really know about as far as, like, the whole development process. I'm just a guy that makes a UI for people.
And the thing is that, like for example, I forgot who I was talking with about this, but I was talking to one of my friends who basically, like, they're a gamer, but they didn't go to school for it. Like, so, like, if I go, like, I can't have the same conversation with you as I can have with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can say stuff to you like, well, it's probably an engine limitation. You don't understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But if I say that to them, it's like, just what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
But, like, there's some things that, like, the community is like, all right, hey, we would like for y'all to do this, that, and the other. And Bungie has yet to say, no, we don't want to do it. But Bungie is like,
can we do it?
Can we do it?
Like,
the thing is, I'm like the thing is, they're using some engine from.
Shit, I think that was back in Halo days.
They were using some engine back from Halo days.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're trying to do not a bigger game popularity wise, but a bigger game physically with the same engine that they did Halo in.
Yeah.
There's only so much they can do. Like, there really is.
And I know gamers are gonna be like, well, I don't give a fuck how they make it. They just need to do it. Like,
the thing is, they can't.
But like this is like usually like one of the things that people will say is be like, why should we care? We're paying them. They went to school for this. They should know how to. They need to just figure shit out. Well, dude, you basically just said that there's some sort of limitation to what you want, and they can't do it as of now. They have to figure it out. But the thing is, are you willing to wait to let them figure it out?
And like I was.
Or are you just gonna sit here and like bitch about it?
It goes back to we want this thing and we want it quickly.
Yeah.
And that's why
that's being unrealistic. I think that's a good term to use for it.
No, it's unrealistic.
Gamers are unrealistic when it comes to like that type of stuff. It's like,
well, at least the gamers that don't know how games are made.
The thing is, I'm not expecting every gamer to like know development stuff. That's the one thing I want to make clear. Like,
Be realistic.
Be realistic. We understand that you don't understand like the developer tools and how they can put those things in. And, what the programs go through when they have to program all that stuff that you want. We don't want you to sit there and be like, okay, well, yeah, I can kind of see, but like,
just understand that like it's a case of you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Right.
Basically, like
that's perfect.
Like, okay, you want X, Y, and Z. We're not saying no. We're saying wait for us to figure it out.
Right. And again, it's more of. And that's why I appreciate some of the fans, because they like. Honestly, I've been sticking around through the good and the bad with Destiny, and I think the main reason why I stay is because I sort of understand now, like the whole development process and stuff like that. But like for the other people that don't understand the development process at all, that stuck with it, and they're seeing how Destiny is evolving. Destiny, it goes up and down. I'm gonna be honest. Like it does some good things, and then it does like some iffy things. Like we went from Forsaken to Shadowkeep, which was more a little. It was cool, but it was a lot less to do compared to Forsaken.
I mean, honestly, I think Destiny has its ups and downs, but Destiny as a whole, if you zoomed out on the timeline, it is still on an upward trend. Mm-hmm. Like the downtimes usually are like the downs in the graph would be when there's a content drought. The ups would be fall expansions. Yeah. Like the quote unquote September releases. September releases
are always the ones that bring people back. I've realized.
Yeah, like the raid race. The grind for the recommended for a raid, then the raid race, then it goes from whoever gets first place to now let's see how many people it takes to actually beat this boss. Yeah. Because it's crazy. I think I forgot what a raid it was, but Redeem, they literally beat the raid boss, the final raid boss that everybody struggled with, like Lone Man or something, within the first week of the raid coming out.
What raid was that?
I forgot.
So Destiny 1 and Destiny 2?
It was Destiny 2, for sure.
Callous?
I don't think it was Callous, but
Argos.
it might have been Argos, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I can see them doing that with Argos.
And you know what's funny? A lot of people still do Ribbon the cheese way.
I'm gonna be honest. I've never done her the legit way.
I've never done Ribbon legit.
I'm sorry, I haven't done it. I don't see a reason to do it legit.
There's a good chunk of the community that has never done Ribbon legit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as soon as people found out about the cheese and they had a team good enough to one phaser,
mm-hmm.
they just one phased her.
Yep.
And I think that's another thing. I think that after going through the Taken King and Wrath of the Machine, after going through Spire of Stars and stuff like that, some people were looking for like a more difficult final boss.
Mm-hmm.
Which, okay, let me just preface it by saying this: Day 1 and Week 1, that boss was difficult.
Right.
But look at her now.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's the beauty of it, though. Like, you struggle with it the first week.
You struggle with it for the first week.
And that's why I applaud gamers for it. Gamers, we find out how to fucking do things. Like, we found any little exploit, we found any little tips and tricks to make sure that the next experience that we go through is easy.
It's a little more easier. But you know what's funny? People still struggle with Spire Stars.
Honestly, Spire Stars is like that. I think that raid is a perfect example of a raid that's like challenging, and like you have to do the mechanics correctly,
and you have to do them quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, ironically, that was the one raid that Bungie did not make.
Do. Yeah,
Vicarious Vision was the one that made that raid.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically. And that's arguably the hardest raid in Destiny 2.
Yeah, and I kind of hate seeing it like that because the next hardest raid, I guess, in Destiny, well, a lot of people would say, I'm talking about Destiny whole, will be Vault of Glass.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Vault of Glass. I wouldn't say Vault of Glass is a close second, but Vault of Glass is a second.
Yeah. And so we know Bungie can make difficult raids. Vault of Glass was fucking difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Even when they brought it back with Age of Triumph.
And ironically, those were not those, I don't think neither one of those were the longest world's first completion.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Last Wish was the longest, then Vault of Glass right after that.
Right.
But neither one of those raids are the hardest raid to complete now.
Exactly.
Which is crazy. Like, a lot of people also struggle with Guardian of Salvation, the final boss.
Honestly, I haven't beat it yet, so I understand.
I understand why people struggle with it, but, I still don't think it's harder than Spire Stars.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, okay, Spire Stars if you don't have a full team of swords.
Yeah.
Because, honestly, the buff with the sword, that they did the swords, made the Spire Stars raid, well, at least final boss, a hell of a lot easier.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, man, they gotta change this episode to Destiny and other things. No, I think it should be called, it's the Destiny community entitled, Destiny and other Destiny related shit. Something
like we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. But like we definitely are really focused on Destiny. And I think I want to do a part 2 of this.
Yeah.
2 things. I want to do a part 2 where I'm looking at some Reddit suggestions from Destiny, and we'll talk about that in developing sense.
And let's do this. You know what? Yes, we'll do a part 2 of this,
mm-hmm.
and let's do a part 2 after Beyond Light comes out.
Yeah, and another thing that I want to do is if you guys want to hear, if you even care to hear about the development process for video games. So this episode sort of makes sense for those that kind of just looking at it and be like, what are you guys talking about?
What y'all talking about?
Yeah. But we would like to sort of clear that up and I would like to also put this like on Reddit for like the Destiny community and be like, hey, this may not be exactly like Bungie's production pipeline,
but
here's a good idea of what's sort of happening there and why you can't get what you want or why certain things aren't working
or why you can't get it when you want it.
Yeah. I think that would be pretty important to like look at the inside of that, because that's the thing that I kind of want Bungie to do. Is like, I know like they always apologize and stuff like that for like some mistakes they made, but I want them to like show their process with making stuff so they can see.
Now the question is, do we really want to put this on Reddit? Reddit's gonna be flaming us for this.
They gonna think that we're just fanboys or like defending Bungie for their stuff, despite us saying that there are some things that we disagree with. They won't hear that part. They'll only they'll be like, once they hear that part, their ears get muffled, right?
Or they just pause the video and don't watch the rest of it.
Yeah. Like, oh no, you can't do that. You only can hate on Destiny, so we can flame you for it. Like telling us that we hate Destiny, it's like, I don't know, what's a good example? It's like, I don't know where I was going with that, but pretty much we shouldn't be labeled as Destiny haters with as much hours we got on the fucking game.
I mean, look,
honestly.
Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, I think I have like damn near 4,000 hours in the game.
I was trying to make some fucking comparison, but like it left my mind. But like, yeah, like the fact that, and this is why I kind of appreciate some content creators that review Destiny, like Datto. Datto may not understand the development process,
but he understands it enough to know that, like, he's self-aware of the fact that this is what I want. It may not be possible yet, and it may not happen anytime soon. Yeah. And that's the thing.
He's more realistic.
Honestly, most of the people that give games in general a hard time are the 1%. Like, but the thing is, some of the 1% understands that, okay, I'm a hardcore gamer for this game.
I'm gonna blow through all this content in like 2 or 3 hours.
Exactly. Like, I'm going to play this game 16 hours a day. I understand I'm probably not going to have a lot of stuff to do after the first month. Those are the people I'm like, all right, at least y'all know you're blowing through your content. You ain't going to have shit to do in a month.
And it's funny that you blew through content that took like 6 or 7 months to make. And if you look at that in the grand scheme of like development, we take several months
to create this
stuff.
Just for you to finish it in a month and a half.
Yeah. So when you go and complain like that, we're sort of like...
But you see, a lot of those people don't complain about the fact that they blew through the content because they understand they blew through the content. And it's like, look, this content was meant to last y'all 5 months. Yeah. You finished it in a month. That's on you.
That's why our RNG is so like at a state right now, because like they have to slow down you hardcore players.
I mean, honestly, some people's RNG is just worse than others.
Yeah, mine, for example.
Like, I may not always get what I want from RNG, but my RNG definitely is not as bad as yours.
Yeah, but people complain about the RNG, but like at the same time, while Bungie again is trying to figure out how to make sustainable content for the hardcore players and casual, because you gotta think about both.
But honestly, the thing is that like the thing about trying to please both sides is that you can't, because if let's say you're trying to please the casuals, the people who only have like 1 or 2 hours a day. You know, they go work a 9 to 5 or something. They go pick their kid up from school. They have an hour or two to play at the end of the day, and they only play, let's say, 4 hours a week.
Right.
Then the hardcores are going to be like, well, y'all are just drip feeding content out, and we should be able to just go at our own pace.
Right.
But then if you cater to the hardcore players, the players that are like, yeah, I can play this game 16 hours a day. It's 7 days a week. To the casual people is like, well, this stuff is only going to be around for 5 months. There's too much stuff going on for me to be able to actually get to this content.
Right.
So honestly, like the best way to like, the best people to cater to are the people who can play, let's say you play 15 hours a week. Cater to those people. Because if you make those people happy, then then most of the community will be happy.
Right.
The casuals won't feel like, oh hey, I'm overwhelmed, I'll never make it to the in-game content. And the casuals won't be like, oh hey, we just don't have the stuff that we're looking to play immediately.
Right. I love how you're explaining this, because this is what the developers have to fucking think of, right? Trying to make the content for y'all. And a lot of people don't consider that. They just figure it out. We're paying you, right?
Figure it out. And
I understand that sentiment that you're paying for this content, so you want it to be good. Like you paid $30 for the new DLC. So you expect it to be
$70 if you get the digital deluxe.
Yeah, so you're like, yeah, I better have a lot of content. This shit better last me for a good while. And with that, I agree, but at the same time, be realistic with stuff. Like if you know you're a hardcore gamer, and you know you're gonna be getting ready for the raid race, because the raid comes out that first week.
Usually,
you're gonna blow through all that content.
The thing is, when you think about it, all the people the glads of the community, the sweatsicles of
basically
the community,
content creators.
Yeah, not even all the content creators, just the ones that are specifically gonna participate in the raid race. The people in Redeem, the people in math class, the people in Dad. They're all going to be grinding that first week to get at least one of their characters raid ready.
Yep. Also, you have to consider those people that are making videos. You got to make sure that they know enough to put out videos to explain things. But let's not just dwell on the content creators. There are other hardcore players that are not content creators.
Yeah,
even them. They should be more realistic, because you know that you're gonna blow through everything that's on the coffin drone or robot, whatever comes out. You'll probably already have most of the zogs that what you have made.
Especially if you're preparing, for example, the DLC comes out in a month. People in the community, whether they're content creators or not, are saving bounties.
Yep.
They're purposely not picking up exotic engrams off of the ground, and then they can go to their postmaster, so that when the new DLC comes out, they can just click on it and be like, all right, let me hope I get a new exotic. And I mean, even I'm guilty of it. I know I'm going to be playing 12 hours a day when the new DLC comes out.
Yeah.
And I have bounties prepared on all 3 of my characters.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not going to participate in the raid race, but I'm still ready.
I still want to try to get to the max power as fast as I can, basically.
And the thing is, RNG is probably gonna screw us both over.
Well, yeah.
Because and the thing is, no matter how hard we go, RNG is probably gonna give us a hard time.
Yeah. But that's just food for thought. I definitely want to do a part 2 of this, but we'll make it more spicy by actual reading
some stuff from Reddit.
Some stuff from Reddit.
Let's try to find stuff from Reddit that's recent, that hasn't already been changed.
Yeah.
And well, maybe we can do a short little segment of stuff that has been changed, but so read stuff from Reddit first, and then explain how it was changed in game. Just to see like what the person wanted and what actually came from it.
Yeah. And we can also talk about, our rough idea of if that's even possible with our limited knowledge of
their engine.
Yeah. So we'll be like, you want a gun that fucking shoots out bunnies, but let's see. I don't know, but let's see if that's even possible. You know. So I like to talk about things like that, but I didn't expect this episode to go this long. Yeah, it's mainly because we went into Destiny, and we can talk about Destiny for hours.
Yeah, we went deep into Destiny.
So yeah, we're definitely going to change this podcast. Let's redo the intro.
I mean, we'll be fine. Honestly,
yeah. All right.
We'll be okay. But yeah, that's what we got. Let's end it here. As usual, social media links will be in the description.
Yeah.
We'll catch y'all next time.
Peace.